Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So if I understand correctly, you've had quite the morning already.
Yeah, the normal kids arguing, that type. But I woke up with a little bit of migraine. So usually that means temperatures changing for me or hormonal shifts, which I can't rely on that these days. So
I hear you, man. Our bodies are changing on us. The last couple of nights, it's been rough for me with Ezra.
Oh.
And so sleep, I was looking at this app that we have for insurance, and you have to get a certain amount of activity in to get the tier.
Oh, yeah.
A certain tier. And that's pretty new to me. It's a pretty cool app.
They've had that for a while, haven't they? In the Adventist app for wellness.
Yeah. And it hasn't been too long, I think. I mean, I guess it's probably been over a couple of years, but it used to be called Virgin Mobile, but they changed companies.
Okay.
And it's Personify, and it'll give you recommendations. Did you go to the doctor? And then how many steps you're taking, and it'll link to your watch. And then it's like how much sleep you're getting. And
How do they know that? Because if you don't wear your watch to bed, how do they know you're actually sleeping?
And that is true. You would have to wear it. And because there was a moment where it looked like I was getting consistently 7 hours. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, is right. Because it was like self-entered. And so it just kept putting it on there. So I was like, no, something's going on. And so
I don't know your sleep schedule, but I'm guessing you don't get much more than 5 a night.
That's about right. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I shouldn't go to bed so late, but I just do. Trying to have a couple hours after the kids go to sleep. And so it's been a journey. So it's been a little while. We skipped last week.
Yes.
We had some things, the school, the kids, field trips, stuff like that. And there's another one coming up with the zoo.
Yeah, my kids aren't actually going.
Oh, they're not?
They're like, we don't want to go. We've been to the zoo enough. And I was like, okay, I'm not trying to fight this battle at this point. Part of it's also cost because we just had to get our van fixed and $2,000 worth of repairs. No. And we have to take it on the 8th grade class trip. So it was like, you have to. There's nowhere about it for it to be running safely and all of the things. And we've had it since 2016. So it's 10 years old and it's seen some road.
Yeah. It's got a lot of bugs in its teeth.
Yeah.
It's just driving out there. So what was wrong with it?
So the water pump had a leak. There was an leak in the oil. The belt had last fall, the deer ran out and hit us on the way back from the camping trip. And so that did a lot of damage, which they did fix that stuff. But I think under it either they didn't find it or whatever the case is. But so we got that stuff repaired. So hopefully we're good for another while.
And those are the main things. It's the oil stuff, the water pump stuff, the belt stuff. You've pretty much... You have
the big ticket prices. Yeah. So we're like, you know what, the kids don't want to go. I'm not paying for them to go to something they don't want to go. I'm not fighting that battle. I'm already fighting Kaylin on going on a camping trip this weekend.
Oh, no.
So I got to pick my battles in this.
Fair. I'm going to start us out with a word of prayer and also, I don't know if you've heard any prayer requests from our listener viewers.
I have not,
but I haven't either. But just to let you all know out there, it is open. We are open for discussion, questions, but also prayer requests. And let me start us off.
Okay.
Heavenly Father, we've been given this opportunity, a unique opportunity to share our voices with one another, but to anyone out there who clicks the button. And Lord, I just want to pray for this episode. I want to pray for those who are listening or watching. I want to pray that your Spirit would guide and direct us in everything we think, say, and do. Praying for the prayer requests that are maybe silently in our hearts, praying for our health, praying for your guidance, your protection, and direction. We thank you and ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, here we go. I did it again. Okay.
It is the top one.
It is. Okay, top one.
The bluest of the blue.
The bluest of the blue. I got it. That's good. All right. Good morning. Hello, I am Pastor Fred, and I'm here with...
This is Julie.
And you are listening / watching...
to Mind, Manna,
and the Maker, a podcast where a therapist and a pastor... come together and show you how the two actually come together. The mind, God made the mind, And God is our creator. And man, when you put the two together, it's
amazing.
incredible. It's amazing. It's amazing. And so it's cool. Like when you're a kid, stuff just works, but then you learn of what's under the hood.
Yeah.
And even then the mind is it's just such an intricate.
There's so many things we don't know about it. Why is it that people with autism can see color in music or color?
Is that so?
Sometimes. I have a couple of clients. That's their experience, and it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Or color in the rain, which you can see color in the rain because like with the water and all of that. So a lot of times you can see rainbows if there's light with water, you can see all of that in reflection.
Yeah, or refraction.
Refraction, that's what it is. But they see things so much more vividly because I believe they have more access to all parts of their brain.
I think you're right. And I know while Ezra is undiagnosed, that's my little boy, he's just such a happy dude. And you'll see him, they say STEM.
Yes.
And it's because, of the reflections of things. And he sees.
I think his brain is more sensitive to the environment, and that allows him to see and experience more things, but that can be very overwhelming to the nervous system.
That makes sense. And if we really slow down, you really can. I think of artists who can draw the shading down to, it looks like
real,
true to life. Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's because they are seeing that stuff. I'm looking at your eyes. I can see the I don't usually register that, but I can see the light or just off of the reflections of things and how people can look at things conceptually, perceptively. Man, we
miss a lot of detail when we don't pay attention.
That's true. That is true. And that kind of lends to our topic today. I'm always interested in how you come up with, because I just imagine Julie, she's just going on about her day. She's driving, she's walking, she's talking, and an idea comes into your mind. And it might be something that you saw or something that you remembered. So today's episode, if I want to get this right, because I know the gist of it, but I want to say it correctly, but you have choosing to wear Jesus as a life jacket. And then you put in quotations, we can't swim on our own.
Yeah.
So where did that come from? Where did that start?
Multiple things. I used to be a lifeguard in college.
I think you told, in college you told me that. Yeah.
Okay, I taught swimming lessons. I was a lifeguard. I did all the things. What used to be Larson's Lifestyle Center at Union, now it's Rainier, I think.
Yeah, they've built it.
They've added on to it.
Oh, added.
Because when we were there for Honors Fest, I got to go and see. I'm like, holy cow! I'm getting some flashbacks here. Maybe not all good, because they've added so much to it. It looks more like a YMCA gym. Yeah. Now they've added to that piece because they have a huge workout center. We had this little teeny tiny room, and I also was custodian. And so I clean all of that stuff, and then I'd go lifeguard, and then I'd swim, and then I'd clean it. But
wow, that's a lot.
I was actually talking with, I think it was Kaylin on the way to ballet several weeks ago. And we were talking, I don't remember exactly the topic, but I remember it had to do with life jackets. And she was asking questions like about Jesus. And I was like, this is how I see it. Because he was saying it was something about going to heaven or going to hell. And what if, I was like, I've heard this several different ways, but I was like, okay, let's imagine it this way. Because this reflects back to me. It's like we're drowning regardless. Regardless. This is our absolute, we got thrown off a ship and we are drowning.
Yeah.
So Jesus has given this opportunity for this life jacket. We get to decide whether we put it on or not. We're drowning either way. And a life jacket doesn't, and I asked this question, I was like, Kaylin, does a life jacket change if you can swim or not? At first she was like, yeah. I was like, does it really? She's like, actually, I guess not. I was like, you still don't know how to swim, even with the life jacket on.
Yeah.
You just have the addition to keep you afloat.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's, to me, it's like without Jesus, we are drowning. We know where, that's why God sent him to die for us, is because we know where we're going. That is an inevitable journey.
Yeah.
But that life jacket is going to be what keeps us safe.
That's cool. I love that because, that life jacket doesn't really care.
No,
it
doesn't
care if you can swim or not. It just does its job.
Yeah.
And it does its job. It keeps your head above the water.
It doesn't mean you won't be in that storm. It doesn't even mean the sharks aren't going to be trying to nibbling at your toes.
I don't know. I mean, some water might splash in your face.
Exactly. Yeah.
And no, I like the analogy. And it helps because this whole thing about Jesus, salvation, it's hard to put together.
Yeah.
And there's so many of these old Christianese words like salvation and righteousness and condemnation.
There's the scary words.
They are. I'm just like, But I think of the word, you said the condition of the world by default. A lot of people don't realize. It makes me think of the verse that uses that big word, that C word. There is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ. And it's like, what do you mean there's now no condemnation? What was happening before? What was happening yesterday? And it just shows the condition, the default condition. And so now, are you in Christ? Are you not? Because I know growing up, sometimes the idea of we see Jesus, but we walk around him. Or we put him on like a back. We carry him with us. So what do we do with this Jesus character that's going to secure our future hope? I think sometimes when I ask people, about the relationship, how it's going, I ask that to the end of, do you have that assurance of the end, assurance of salvation? And most people will say they hope.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'll ask you the question. Do you?
I think that's always been a question, because even Aiden this week, he was talking, he's, Mom, but how do we really know? And I was like, I think that's where faith comes in. We don't always know. And faith is not about knowing. It's about trusting in something. And
oh yeah, that's a better usage.
Because
the trust.
And I know we talk about this in session often about trust and what it looks like to trust other people, but we've never learned how to trust ourselves. And
It's true.
Healing, this is a difficult topic, because nobody else can heal us except ourselves. God allows that, but someone else cannot come in. You could not come in and heal my past. You could pray for me.
Yeah.
You can do that, but I have to do the work. And I didn't even do that to myself. I was sexually abused by somebody else. I didn't do that. But it's not even, and I think I've shared this in here, even if he were to ever come in and apologize for it, it still happened. The trauma, the experience still happened.
Yeah.
I have to go back and rescue that younger part of me. And that's where I believe God gives us that ability to know. And this is where parts works come in, because some people are like, I'm a very visual person, so I can see my younger self in that space and go internally and go help move her to a safe place in my mind.
That's incredible.
Not everybody has that ability to be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That sounds a little crazy. I was like, maybe a little bit, but everybody has that. But we all have these experiences that make us who we are.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's like a life jacket therapy is can be a piece of that, where Jesus, when you look at the tribes, they were layered in support, where your people would have to go to your tribe leader, and then the tribe leader would go to theirs, and then eventually make it all the way up to like Moses. But that wasn't the first step.
Right.
You would go in layers. And I think Jesus gives us layers to help support us. Pastors, therapists, our parents, and they should be those leaders to help support us. And so I think that's where those leaders can help get that life jacket on us.
Yeah.
Because God, that life jacket's there.
Yeah.
He's not going to force it on us.
That's another thing. Yeah, you got to make a choice to put that thing on.
Yeah.
And that's really good. And I think that's the hardest contention, is between where God comes in and we come in, the mind. Because we study the mind, we come up with techniques and practices, which I believe God leads us through and to, but just where the two meet to be who we are and how he does that saving. And it sounds like it's a layered time.
And it's never forced.
Yeah, never forced.
He never forces his salvation, his saving us.
Yeah.
It is a choice that we accept and put on.
I like that. And when you think of salvation and saving, you use the word the ing, and in the Greek, it's present continual. And that's because it's there. Let me see if I can remember the verse. My files are rusty, and let me pull the drawer open. It creaks a little bit, and I'm thumbing through the old Manila.
Yeah.
The word of the cross. No, that's another one. That's another ing one. For that's not the right one. Maybe if I say this one, the other one will come. The word of the cross is foolishness for those who are perishing. And so there's like this, it sounds terrible, but there's another verse that kind of goes with it that says that, oh, but it's life for those who are being saved is what it is. And so it's like when you think of it, I think it's easy to be like, to take that being saved, to think like it's this or that, to that being saved is that healing part, is what I believe.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking, well, on Monday, I can have the assurance of salvation. On Tuesday, I'm out. He loves me not. He loves me. Are you wearing the jacket? And then the saving part is the layers through over time as that door is being opened and there's that girl and she's being rescued out of that space and she's being ushered out. And now she's in a different place. Like when I hear you talk, like you're like, I just don't live there anymore. And I'm sure there's days that are better than others, but we're above water. We're there and we're surviving and we're learning how to survive. And we can share that. And it invites people into that kingdom. Yeah. And so, that's, if I think about what saving is, that's the therapy and the growth.
Yes.
And it's made me think of something, and it made me think of the beginning of layers. Like with the beginning, Adam and Eve.
Yes.
I think of fig leaves, and I think of the first cute little animal that died, that God had taken his garments and took it off of him and then put it over Adam and Eve. And his garment was better than the ones that Adam and Eve, I don't know if it was banana leaves, I don't know, but they probably work better.
Elephant leaves, those big ones.
Oh, yeah, those are perfect. And whatever they were covering, I don't know what shame does, because for us, we think you're inclined to go like this. When it's like anything, it's whoa, like it's for them, it's the whole thing. It's my knees.
You didn't realize you were cold before. Yeah. There's a bunch of awareness that comes up from that.
Yeah, man. And so the first garments there put on Adam and Eve instead of those, like you said, the elephant leaves. Those tear. They don't knit. They don't sew very well together. And then it seems like every time Jesus or God comes into the picture, and his covering always works a little better. And why covering?
It's a one size fits all, literally.
Literally, yeah. It's the best fit. It's tailored. It's tailored fit. That's so good. That's so good. And when I think of, let's see here, there's something else I wrote down. Oh, it was a parable. And let me see if I can pull it up. It's one of my favorites because it shows what it takes for salvation and why it's so important to be covered. I don't know. Let me see if I can pull it up a different way. Have you heard the wedding garment? Let me see. I'll read it to you.
Okay.
It's the weirdest. It's one of the weirdest ones, but it's it's in Matthew chapter 22. Let's see here. Matthew 22. And I'll do it like NIV. So Jesus, he speaks to them again in parables. Which parables, I love parables because they suspend your judgment for long enough to hear what's being said. And then when you find out it's you, it's like a punch in the face. You're like,
oh, that sucked.
yeah, that sucked. Yeah, so it's like the kingdom of heaven is like a king who prepared a wedding banquet for his son. He sent his servants to those who had been invited to the banquet to tell them, come, but they refused to come. They're like, nah, we're not doing this today. Then he sent some more servants and said, tell those who have been invited that there's a bonus. I've prepared my dinner, and my oxen and fattened calf or cattle have been butchered, so you don't even have to worry about that. It's done, and everything is ready. Come to the wedding banquet. So that's the come to the wedding banquet. But there's more. It says, but they paid no attention and went off. One went to his field, the other to his business, and then the rest seized his servants. This third group is brutal.
Man, I remember the story now.
You remember the story. Yeah. That they seized his servants. They mistreated them And
just
then they
for
kill them.
inviting them. Yeah. Okay, come eat. Sorry, bam. We don't want that.
Don't kill the messenger is what we tell them. What are you
Seriously.
doing? That's people, man. Anyway, the king was enraged. He sent his army and destroyed those murderers and burned their city. That's king is that.
He got him back.
He got him back. And then he said to his servants, the wedding banquet is ready, but those I invited did not deserve to come. And so far, there's two things that come out to me is the invitation.
Yeah.
And the invitation says, come to the wedding banquet. But then that deserve word, what causes someone to deserve? That's why it's such a weird thing, because an invitation is an invitation.
Yeah.
But it's to refuse it, I don't think is what makes someone non-deserving. I think it's more of like, they didn't beat up this dude's servants. They like killed the messenger. And they didn't just say no. It's polite no work. No,
Thank
thanks.
you, but no.
But hey, come here, buddy. And they're just like pushing you around, bullying, and then they beat him up, and then they kill him. And I don't know. That's crazy. And so he says to them, so the servants went out into the streets and gathered all the people they could. Because what he says, it's ready, but those I invited don't deserve to come.
Yeah.
And he says, so go to the street corners and invite to the banquet anyone you find. So the servants went out into the streets and gathered all the people they could, the bad as well as the good. What does that even mean? What are bad people and good people? Probably not the bullies.
Those were bad.
Can
you imagine, this is a side note, but can you imagine being those servants after they just saw their fellow servants die and they're like, hey, go out now to the streets.
Oh, man.
To get these. We're like, we thought these people were bad. What about the ones living in the streets that have to survive on a daily basis?
Yeah.
How is that going to treat us?
Yeah, man, I'll tell you. And it also, I love that because it also makes me think of maybe it's a different kind of bad. It's a bad that doesn't scorn invitation and bully for that reason, for inviting you. And then it's like a different kind of bad people, but they're also hungry. If I was out on the street and you tell me there's going to be a banquet, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, because
okay?
bad is very situational. You can make bad choices. So maybe maybe they didn't keep a job, and so therefore they're homeless. Or maybe they made some bad choices, and so they're addicted to drugs or things like that. Like, that doesn't make them bad necessarily people. They made bad choices.
I like that. That's good. Bad choices. So it shows what it takes, right? We're talking about an invitation. We're talking about what it means to not deserve. And then we talk about what bad people are. It's really bad choices, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just, we're trying to survive. We're trying to eat. There's nothing there. So we made a bad choice to go get some.
Because I think,
free.
at least for me, I think a lot of people interpret sinful as being bad, which, yes, if you want to go that deep, we are sinful just by being born because we're a sinful human race.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. Again, this is where there's so many different. If you want to look at it that way, we're all bad. Like, we are all bad. We're all going the same direction if we do not choose to accept this wedding invitation.
Yeah, yeah. And it also makes me think of what, like, society, what we consider bad people, like those who are down and out or do break the law or do, I don't know, they're not a good lot of people, so to speak. But it's interesting to me how, like you said, I love how you said bad choices. I really like that. I'm going to receive that. I accept that. I'll preach it from the pulpit because it's great because it shows who's getting in this party. It's going down the line, the people who are expected to go, the people who are just random, and then there's that subset of just the good and the bad, the ones that are trying to be upstanding citizens with what they've got, and then the ones that are just bad choices based sometimes on circumstance. And so we've got those two groups, and they're coming through the door. They're coming through this door.
They're accepting that invitation.
And so the servants went out into the streets, gathered all the people they could find, the bad as well as the good, and the wedding hall was filled with guests. So it went from 0 to just filled with people. And you look around, and I guess it describes how they look here. But when the king came in to see the guests, so he comes in and he noticed a man there who was not wearing the wedding clothes. And so you look in there and everybody apparently is dressed in wedding clothes. And so there's no distinction. Like when you think of the good, the bad, or the ones that were all ready to inherit or to have the expected guests, the outsiders, the good and bad subset. But when you get all of these people and you put them in there, they're all wearing wedding garments. And it says here that he notices immediately there's this guy and he's wearing like a jersey. I don't know what he's wearing. Whatever.
His gym clothes.
His gym clothes. He's wearing his gym clothes. This dude got back from the gym. And he goes up to him. He says, "Sir, how did you get in here without wedding clothes, friend?" And the man was speechless. He was just like, and this
snuck in.
Yeah, I snuck in. And it's weird because it's like you look at all the criteria of what it takes, and you're gonna come and talk to me about my clothes. Like what? But this is where the punch comes in, because this parable really clears it up for me when we talk about salvation. So the man is speechless. He's like,
it's like a kid that just got caught in the candy jar.
And then the king told the attendants, and apparently the attendants have rope in their hands. I don't know why. And it says, tie him hand and foot.
I don't remember this in the original parable. This is a lot more detailed than what they told us at school.
Yeah. You know how it goes. They leave out all that other stuff.
They softened the rough edges.
Yeah. Goliath and all that stuff, and Noah, and man, they really fixed it up for us. But yeah. And so they tie him up and throw him outside into the darkness. So apparently when they got there, it was day. I don't know how long this party was, but into the darkness where there will be, and this is where it turns
really dark.
Yeah, really dark. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. Have you ever gnashed your teeth before?
I don't know. You should ask my kids. They'd probably know.
I think of grinding your teeth at night. I don't know if you do that. I don't know.
No, I don't at night, but gnashing your teeth too, when I think of it, I'm like,
oh, that makes sense.
Like, but gnashing teeth would probably also be like dogs when they're biting or trying to bite.
Oh, yeah.
That's what also is probably what it is, because what's out at night? Coyotes.
That's true. Oh, you're talking about somebody else's teeth that are gnashing on you.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
I've never thought of that before. Oh, please don't gnash your teeth on me.
He's getting thrown out into this. Whose teeth would be?
Unpredictable. Yeah. I thought it was weeping. And he's like weeping through his gnashed teeth. But no, there's gnashing coyotes that are gnashing my flesh now. No. Go to the wedding feast. Accept the invitation. You do not... And it shows a scene of unpredictability.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
I see it like this in this. This is probably one that it originally turned down the invitation and then realized, oh, I really do want to be there. But he tried going about it the wrong way.
The wrong way. Wow. Man. And that's why your life jacket is so important, because it's not a cruel king. Because at first you're like, man, what a guy. Like, why would he just... I mean, for that, he's trying to get people to the party. You think it's like for the numbers, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to get the people in there and nobody's coming. And now it's full and people who don't deserve any more out there. And now it's what you wear. And you can take that the wrong way.
Sure.
And make it vanity. But it really does. What are you wearing? What are you putting on?
But there's usually always, when you think about any wedding, there's usually a wedding attire that's expected. Now, sometimes it's blue jeans and a cowboy hat, but there's still a wedding attire. I haven't been to a wedding that usually didn't have one. They'll either say formal, semi-formal, or jeans. And I've been to a cowboy jeaned wedding. Yeah,
that's cool.
That was way more my style. Like, I wear jeans almost every day.
Okay.
But as a cowboy, maybe not so much.
Not so much. Did you have a hat?
I did not.
Okay.
I just wore my hair in braids, like pigtail braids.
Do you have a picture of that?
Maybe.
Okay. I feel like you're very costumey sometimes. Really, it's really cool. I love. What was the other picture you dressed up
20s?
for? Yeah, the 20s. That was cool. And then there was something else. Anyways.
I have a Viking one for Halloween that I did a few years back.
I need that one too. It's just fantastic. This family, it's so good. It's so good.
Another word for it is unique.
Unique, yes, we'll take that.
Not weird, unique.
That's right. That's right. That's absolutely right. That's right. Because it's not, you're not wearing it like every day to work. That's when
No.
it gets weird. That's when you know you've crossed the line. But it's great because you think about, why do people wear wedding attire? Yeah. Why would you, what do you think? Why?
Because it's a special occasion.
Yeah.
It is to celebrate the event.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not everybody, every day we're invited to a wedding.
That's very true as well. It's very
so
true.
it's something that is special. And the person putting on is spending a lot of money, a lot of resources to celebrate with these people.
Yeah.
And so it's, I think, respectful for us to show up in that way when they're also giving so much to us.
I like that. I wonder though, did the king provide the garments? This is a reach. It doesn't say here.
Thought somewhere they were saying
see.
they did. I thought, but I could be like, but
yeah.
So I see it as, yes, in this case, he probably offered wedding garments at the door for those that didn't have them.
Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah, so that makes it worse on that guy who got thrown out, hog-tied, and thrown into the gnashy teeth.
Yeah, because he really tried to avoid all of it just to get in.
What a guy. Now I'm mad at him. Okay, so I'm just playing. So it says it was customary for kings to provide appropriate wedding garments for their guests. So I don't know if he had been making the invitation. The fatted calf was already butchered. They're spinning it over the fire. It's about time because you let it sit. The food gets cold and flies. So it must have been at the door maybe, or I don't know.
I see it like, okay, they have a robe and you come in and you just get covered and then they walk in.
I like
But what
that.
happens, I can see this guy like, no, I'm good. I'll do it myself. And then he throws it in a flower pot.
Oh, I like your flower pot. I don't know why you gave us a flower, but I like it. I'll take it. He's like, nah. And the key word is what you said. I will do it myself or myself.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Because how many of us, when we look at our kids, we're like, I will do it myself. And they're 3 years old. And
Like,
no,
buddy.
I think you need a little help.
Buddy.
And yet then they move into teenagers. I don't want to do it myself. Do it for me.
Do it for me. This is great, but it's a good progression. Maybe it's
not that part, not the teenage part, but I don't want to do it myself. All right, we missed something here.
It's great for Jesus, but not for us.
Yeah.
Please do it yourself. Like it's like,
Don't enable. Let's not enable people in our lives, our children.
That's right. So that's cool. I learned something new. So making the man without one inexcusable. This gesture highlighted the host's generosity and ensured all attendees were dressed worthily for the royal occasion. Man, I might have to preach this now that you said that, because I never considered A, that he provided it, but that B, the flower pot. If I preach, there's going to be a picture of a flower pot that this guy no, I don't need it. And they're like, no, you're going to need it. And somehow he had to have taken it, because they probably wouldn't let him in. He probably was like,
He probably had it in his hands.
Yeah.
I feel like he's like going and have it draped over.
Yeah.
So I'll put it on.
Yeah.
Or I'll change in the bathroom. Change in the bathroom.
That's right. That's right.
I just came from the gym. I'll change in the bathroom.
There it is, the gym connection. That was fantastic. Full circle.
And then you're like, you see this flower pot that's for decorations, and you're like,
Yeah, just stuff it in there. So there was no excuse.
None.
And so how often, like you said, do we make it we're going to do it ourselves. We're going to do it ourselves. So now when you look at this is the story of salvation in my mind. And so this garment is life and death. You need to put on the garment, but it's not, I like how it's attached to a choice, but also in a way esteeming the one who is throwing the party. You're saying to them, hey, I not only accept your invitation, but I would like to honor that.
yeah.
And in doing that, now the only thing that the life jacket story is missing is that the life jacket, the stories are parallel, but this one is out of scarcity in the sense that you're going to drown without it. And is that true over here? Yes, it is true. Without the garment, you're going to be gnashed to sleep or to death. And so it's true. And I think sometimes when we look at that, the cool thing is that this one has the element of the feast. And so it's abundance. And it's not only survival, which is probably what he came in for, was just the grub. Maybe he was like, maybe he was the guy that changed his mind, and he comes in and he's, I'm going to get some grub. But it's more than grub. It's this covering. It's this honoring. It's this, I don't know. It's so much more.
Yeah. Because I think in the church, a lot of times there's always this, it's grace, not works. And so people can say, it is work if I have to change my clothes and I have to go do this. It's work. I was like, and so that's where it's a gift. And we are throwing that gift in the flower pot.
Yeah, man. I'm using that forever. Your flower pot. Yeah, we're throwing that away. And so this is an invitation to you. And it's also to us daily. We put it on daily, not to save our bacon, so to speak. But it's because of that gift that you said. And so learning how to live that way is very difficult.
It is, because again, I think this is where, especially because I grew up in the church. And so I didn't have this big event of salvation where some people experience, where they lived a more secular life and they're like, oh, wow, this isn't what I want. God is so good. I didn't have that from one to the other. I'm like 7th generation Adventist.
I got you.
Like,
that's cool, by the way. I've never heard of that.
And it's great, but you live in this example, and I think I see what you're saying. It's if you lived with sugar and it's not that exciting.
Oh, I see. Wow, that's a good example too.
And yet when you try it for the first time and you've never had it in your life, you're like, oh my word, I've been missing this.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so it's almost sad to that point, because we don't necessarily have this life-changing event of God swooping in. He's there. He's always there.
Yeah.
But we don't see it because we've been around it our whole life.
Wow, that's incredible.
And I think that's almost more sad for people that have lived it their whole life, because it can feel so desensitized. It can feel so much, this is just what we do.
Wow.
There comes the work.
Yeah.
That's just what we do.
Yeah.
Not, it is a gift. And I think it's the same if you grew up, and we did not grow up with money. We were on state assistance as kids. Like, we had a very small house. Like, we didn't have that. I've had to work to move, owning a business, owning our own house. Like, we've had to work really hard. My husband and I both came from nothing in that area.
Incredible.
My parents sacrificed a lot for us to have a church education, Christian education. But my husband did not go to, he went to private school a little bit, but he was more public school. And so we had very different upbringings. And so when he made that choice, that was something that he saw, this more secular life. And so he's, oh, wow, this is different. And I didn't necessarily have that. And so it's one of those things that I feel more sad for people that I think have lived it and don't have that acceptance of that gift in that same way. It's a thing to do.
Wow. It makes me think of the group that was the first invite. Is that they were in that in group. And after a while, it just becomes a part of, like you said, the sugar, it's a part of your life. And so when you get invited to the wedding, you're just like, oh, this is another event. It's another program. It's another thing that we do. And you're like, yeah, I might catch the end, or I might show up or go or something like that.
I'll come to the next one.
Yeah, I'll come to the next one. So I love what you said. But I also know that God has a way of reaching either group, the ones.
Absolutely.
And I wonder for you, and I think the key word is already the G word you said, it's understanding it's a gift.
Yeah.
I think is what it was. But I wonder how you broke out of that to where you were just like, this is more than just something we do or something that I've been around all my life.
I think for me, to be honest, being a therapist has made a big difference.
Incredible.
Because when I see people coming in and breaking generational traumas, and they're like, I'm choosing to do something outside of what I was brought up doing.
Whoa.
That's when I was like, oh my goodness, this is no different than our Christian walk.
Ooh.
Because we go to church. That's the same thing our parents did. We do this. It's the same thing our parents did. We did this because we were told we need to. Don't wear jewelry, blah, 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 all of that.
Yeah.
But at what point we're like, wait, why? Why am I doing this? Why do I want this to look different?
Ooh. Oh, so this idea of being called to different and asking the question why. So it sounds like it's the question of why. Why do I do the things that I do? And everyone has to come to that place.
Everybody. Everything and everything you do. It's they always told you when you're doing like multi-level marketing MLM groups, the pyramid schemes that they like to say, they're like, what's your why?
What's your why? Yeah.
What's your why? That's the only thing that's going to keep you going. But I think there's a truth in that.
There's a truth in it. Yeah.
What is your why? What is your why for getting up in the morning? What is your why for going to work? What is your why for taking care of your kids, doing the laundry? Everything has a why.
Everything has a why. Wow. So to come to that place, and I love how what God chose for you is through your therapy, your work, and to see that see people transform and choose different, that we can.
Because it's hard to change our default setting.
Yeah.
It's hard. You and I've talked about it. When we're brought up with something, I gave this example to a client. Okay, imagine Friday nights growing up. We ate popcorn, fruit salad, and we would sometimes have homemade French fries. That's what we'd eat. Yeah. And we'd always argue over the little cherries because there were never enough in those canned fruit salad bowls.
There aren't. Now, do you have any at home? Those cherries? No. You're done with those cherries?
No, I like those cherries. We'll get them at Chick-fil-A in their shakes and stuff. The maraschino cherries.
Yeah.
My daughter ate like an entire jar of them and got really sick a couple years ago.
Oh, no. It's
She's like, Mom, I'm throwing up red. I'm like, what did you have that's red?
I'm glad your brain was there.
Oh, yeah. She ate an entire jar. But
it's just, it tease you all your life. You're like,
I can only have a quarter of one because there's only half of one. And when you have two siblings, you can't share that half. You have to cut it. And so Mom's like arguing. I'm like, no, fine. I'm just going to cut it. And
right. Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad. It's so true. I'm so glad that we could put some words on that. Nobody talks about the cherry, guys. And so you're going to get, if you see a jar of them, you're like, you know what?
There's only two halves in this entire freaking jar.
That's right. We're going to eat a whole jar so that we can make up for all the ones we missed.
Can you imagine being that cherry dropper? Oh, there's only one cherry that's got to go in here. So before they put on the top can, they're like, here's a cherry, here's a cherry. Other things.
What a job. What a job, the cherry drop guy. That's great.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, that's so good. But the reason we talked about cherries was, at your home growing up.
That was the default setting.
That was the default setting.
And so when someone else was like, oh, yeah, we did pizza and movie night on Fridays. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And we didn't have movie nights Friday night, Sabbath, all of that. We had to wait for Blockbuster's Saturday night.
Blockbuster.
And that's when we would do like sometimes more popcorn. We would do things like that for movie night. Yeah. But we'd go to Blockbuster first. Hopefully we'd have the good movies and they weren't all out. And then you get that top and then you move and it's like,
nothing behind it, guys. Please.
It's all empty. Yes, no. Okay, guys, what's your second pick? And then Woody was like, I don't know. That's the one we wanted.
That's the one we wanted.
And so we just moved. But not a lot of people didn't have that. Like my husband growing up, Saturday morning was cartoon.
Yeah.
We didn't have TV. And so that was like a foreign thing for us. Yeah. And we're like, oh, that was actually, we could only watch movies because we lived out in the country. We didn't have any of that. Okay. And so we didn't have that. So it's, oh, wow. I think when it really hit, honestly, it was probably 30-ish when I was like, wait. I've really been very self-centered, unintentionally realizing that my experience is so different than other people's, and that's not right or wrong. It's just different.
It's different. I like that.
What does other people's experience really look like? And being in a therapist has made it so easy for me to hear other people's sides.
Wow. Incredible.
And I think that's the same. Like there's stories of church and the trauma that they've experienced at church or in others or their generational trauma, even if nothing necessarily happened bad to them, something did to their grandmother and their grandmother parented different. And so their mother parented different. And then they also got parented different because they didn't have that. And that's where grace came in for me the most.
Oh, grace.
Because I was like, oh my, we have got to realize that everybody has a story.
Yeah.
And even of the worst stories, that doesn't mean I excuse the behavior.
Sure.
Doesn't mean I even allow that behavior near my family.
Agreed.
But I can give grace and understanding that their story, unfortunately, has also caused a lot of harm for them and their choices in life.
I love how you put things together, because you said that it's not bad, it's just different. And then the other thing you just said, hopefully I can bring this back, is that, what was the last part you just said? I'll have to rewind the tape, but it's that, in other words, I guess what comes to my mind is that you don't have to apologize whether you come from the story of that doesn't line up with the one that was over this way. It's a story. Oh, you don't have to allow it. Like, you don't have to allow the behavior as well.
Yeah.
And I find in my mind that I'm in different areas of my life that I'll apologize for somebody else's circumstance. And it's not, I don't know how to word that, but I'll make an apology by allowing things around me because of their circumstance or their situation.
So your boundaries are lacking in that area because you feel bad for their circumstances.
Yeah. And so I'll allow that kind of, it's.
And I think that's hard because while, especially in this type, as a pastor, you're the helping field. As a therapist, it's very easy to allow that, knowing their story. Yeah. And it's the same. It's okay. At what point though? Because, for the wedding party, at what point was he allowed in and then say, hey, wait, you didn't accept this gift. You threw it away. Yeah. You must now leave.
Yeah.
He was thrown out.
He was thrown out. Yeah.
And so we have to have that side where God's ultimately the judge, of this, but we still have to make healthy assessments for ourselves and our family on who should be around our kids, who shouldn't be, and be able to say, okay, we're making this choice because we've either lived in something that we know this isn't safe or the other piece. And boundary isn't about what other person does. It's about how we respond if they're not respecting us.
That's fair. I love that. I love how you said that. You just gave me a mini therapy session right now because it's true. It's a big problem. And I've spent a lot of my life doing that and eating people's poop sandwiches. Somebody gave this to me. You know who it was? Ooh, I'm going to put him on Front Street. Ooh, I'm going to put you out there. So I was sitting, because I remember when Eric came down. Ooh, I'm going to send you.
Oh, yeah.
He came down and there's always this moment where he'll ask me, because he was a pastor. He still is. He's a pastor hat, but also a therapist and also a counselor. So he has all these, but there will be this moment where we'll have a moment where we shed. Oh, wait a minute. Something happened. Hold on a second. We're still recording here, by the way. Something went wrong. Let's see here. Let me read. Give me just a second. Either way, we have this. We're not losing this. We'll keep going here. So this will be great to put him on Front Street. We take off our hats and he comes. It's kind of like a friend, and he's. I'm not going to say the word, but poop sandwich. You're sitting there, and you're sitting there, and he's here, Fred. Take this, and he gives it. He just grabs something arbitrary. He's like, take this,
and you take it.
And that's what I did. You just looked at me right now, but
I'll be like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I grab it, and he's like, why did you take that? I was like, because you're handing it to me. And I'm like,
no questions, just.
Yeah. It's just because someone's handing you something doesn't mean you need to take it.
My husband always likes to do this where he'll get something and he'll put it in his hand. And I'm like, no. I love you, but I'm not going to lie. I don't trust everything you try to give me. And it could be food. I don't know. It could be, it's not normally anything like scary, but I'm like.
But it's funny because it's like you don't discover it until it's.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, please give me more information.
More information, please. And that's good boundaries. It's because you don't ever know. You never know.
I think part of it too is I've had to learn how to do that. Some of it out of hyper awareness.
Okay.
So I think some of it was just, I needed to really assess. I've always liked Sherlock Holmes shows, and there's a new one called Young Sherlock. I'm on the last episode of it. It is about mindfulness and attention. Now, I do think you can go overboard and react in ways and just know details and not have an emotional relationship with people. But historically, I would look for a situation and try to navigate it before it would even show up.
Oh, interesting.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
And I don't do it as much anymore because I was wasting a lot of energy in my life getting ready for a situation that may or may not ever show up.
Oh, wow.
And so for me, I started asking more questions to try to realize, okay, is this energy I need to put in right now?
Okay. That's a
And so
follow-up
for
question.
me, I want to assess, like, why are you handing me this? Is it because I look tired and I need to lay down? Is there an ulterior motive? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And some people might say that's paranoia. I think it could get to paranoia where you don't take anything from anybody. You're like, don't touch me. But asking questions isn't bad.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah.
Jesus was always trying to get people to think.
Yeah.
That's why he gave parables to try to help them expand their knowledge outside of just their daily life.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that's where it's, if we can ask questions and be curious, and this is because if your wife came up, hey, I'll give you something that just happened this week at our house. But if he's, Fred, did you remember to switch the clothes in the laundry? And you're like, oh, crap, I forgot. I did it yesterday.
Yeah.
Now in our house, and this is something Adam's been working on, but he interprets that as, I'm a failure. I forgot. I didn't. I just asked a question like, hey, did you get this?
Me and Adam are twins.
And so
Why?
because my brain doesn't go to, you're a failure.
Yeah.
You know me, I would say it out loud
Yeah.
if I thought something.
That's true.
I
That's
don't
true.
hold things in very much. I know when to adjust things.
Sure.
I will say it out if I were to ever think that. And Adam's, oh yeah. I'm like, I'm not quiet with my opinions.
Yeah.
And so that's something I was like, that's an interpretation of our world.
Oh, man. So what do we do about that? What do we do?
What we have to do is pause and be like, what do we know about this person right in front of me?
Oh, yeah.
I'm interpreting this, but what do I know about this person?
Yeah.
And so we have to pause because that's the self-critic coming in. Because that's what I am thinking about this guy from that. He's like, why are you really giving me this robe?
Yeah.
What's really in this? I don't need this. I'm just going to go eat.
Oh,
And so he's being very
good.
paranoid about what this gift is.
Yeah.
And instead, I think that it can go one way or the other, where we accept everything without question, but are we really not questioning? We might be questioning in our head, but you trust Eric.
Yeah.
So of course you'd be like, okay, I trust him. He might be a little harsh in his delivery because he's just straight to the point, which is going to be a good therapist, especially with drug addiction. Like you need to be straight to the point.
Straight to the point. Yeah.
Like really getting in there. But in some people, like personality disorders, you can't do that.
I see.
You have to be a little bit more calm and sanding the edges a little bit more in delivery. And that's not a bad thing. It's learning your situation. But there is a time where you have to know, okay, I cannot be treated like this.
Yeah. Man.
And it's, I care about you, but
I deserve
to not be treated like this.
Man.
And I don't know what this gym guy was thinking in there. Maybe I just need some protein, so I'm just going to go for the beef. But
this story is getting better and better. I love this story. This revised version is so 2026. I take it. I receive it, man. It's coming with all of it. Jim and his protein came in for the protein. Coming in even with the wrong motives. It's interesting that it really even then comes down to put this thing on, bro. But
the life jacket. I'm like, hello. My dad never could float. He was always very built and very muscular. Even now, like he has a dad body as a belly, but my dad is still at 60. How old is he? 4?
Yeah.
He is very muscular still.
You can tell
He is stout. He was in gymnastics, all that. He could never float. He would just sink.
he's just a rock. That's
He
all right.
definitely would need a life jacket in that. I float fine. I've always been able to float fine. Different body compositions.
Yeah.
But even in that case, like things can pull me under.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
being tired, losing something, grabbing me.
Yeah.
And so just because, again, this goes back to everybody's a little different, but that gift, putting on that life jacket, being able to decide, I'm choosing
Yeah.
to accept this.
Yeah. That's so good. I think this is a good place. The clock just struck 10 and we have the audio here, but it's going to I want to take a picture if we could again, and I'll do both now. Now I feel better about putting the other one now that this one's doing it again. So for whatever reason, but so the idea is we're talking about the life jacket and we're talking about putting it on and what keeps people from putting on the life jacket.
Yeah.
And I love how you were able to take us to that location and gave the guy a name, or actually where he
Not
goes
really
to
a
work.
name, but
Yeah.
He's a Jim.
Yeah.
Jim dude.
A Jim dude whose name could be Jim. And he could also.
It's Chad.
Oh,
I don't know. Chad just sounds like a Jim dude.
It's Chad. Never mind. Name change, Chad. It is Chad. And even down to the flower pot and the reason it's funny, but it helps us to see the reasons why. Because it's easy to be like, refuse the gift. It's easy. But at the same time, why would anybody refuse the gift that God is giving? And you look at the effort, where all the effort is happening.
I think it goes back to the transactional love.
Man, it does. It ties into transactional love episode. It ties into mask because of coverings from the garden to the face to protect us socially. Yeah, it's so many things. Yeah. I leave this with you, fellow wedding banquet guest scepters. You may have reasons, because I wonder if God even works on that as well.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
there's a time that there has to be a done moment.
Yeah.
But I think he'll continue working until that last moment.
I think so too. And that's another element to that story, is down to the footsteps into the wedding hall. He's working with you. And what do you say? Are there reservations that you have? What's keeping you from taking the wedding garment?
Yeah.
And not only in the big way, right, for the wedding garment, but just daily.
I think it goes back to really challenging that interpretation of the world, because there are some people that do just want to give a gift of love. And if someone has made that into something else, because our church does, there are people in our church that will make that into something else. That's not God's gift then.
That's true.
That's human error. But God's gift doesn't have strings attached. You just have to accept it.
Yeah.
And the accepting is what gets you in, putting that garment on. That there is no strings attached, but people are the ones that make choices that hurt.
Yeah. And make it look like there's strings. So you gave another example of why someone would easily refuse that gift.
Because that interpretation is, there's something bad here.
There's something, yeah. So my prayer for you, for us today, is that if there is anything keeping you from seeing the gift for what it is, whether it's been the mistake of human error, that would be cleared. And God has an amazing way of doing that. That's why there's the layers you talked about and time. And I tell you, friend, whoever you are listening to the sounds of our voices, that it's an amazing shift, because while the life jacket in the middle of the ocean floating, keeping afloat, matches the wedding banquet story, one of them is a story of abundance and the other one is just surviving. Are you tired of just surviving?
Yeah.
That's something that happens for me. Sometimes I'm just surviving. It's a whirlwind. It looks like triage in the morning for me. You should see. It's like 10
I think
blade.
I experience it every morning.
Man, I don't even know.
Get your shoes. Did you take your meds? God, you didn't even change your pants.
And you just have to stop for a second and just breathe and remember. Put on the garment.
But God, you're in control.
You're in control. Yes.
I might need even a little help buckling it today.
Yes, thank you. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. You should see. Sometimes I'm holding kids and then I'm holding a bag and then I'm using my elbow to move something. It's just... These are things that people don't see, that we go through, like you said. Without further ado, I think we have come to a good stopping point. And I want to thank you for listening. If you have made it this far, friends, there is something so much better out there. Won't you consider it?
Yeah.
My name is Pastor Fred, and I'm here with
Julie.
And you're listening to
Mind, Manna,
and the Maker. Talk to you next time. So mad at our technology. But the good thing is this. I'm so glad. That's a really awesome message. Oh, can we use your phone and just maybe I would take it from there, but then it's a whole bunch of... Did you get a new case?
Yeah.
I'll put my.
Yeah, so it looks like that.
There we go. You got a new case, you said?
So it's on the Vine program.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's nice. That's a nice one. How's it doing? You know how people always measure it based on how well it stays clear.
Yeah, so far this one's good. I'm also not super heavy with it with like dirt and stuff.
Yeah. Some of them just turn yellow anyway, just because.
Yes. So if it's I'm sure if it's in the sunlight, it might, because if it's acrylic, that can yellow a lot. But it's not. I'm not in there yet. But so far, that's why I can go back and change the review if I need to. But
yeah, fair. How's your head?
it's better now.
I saw you took your earring out.
Yeah. So that my ears are not equal on sides, and so this one will always like smash my earrings into, and so whatever reason it doesn't do this one. I think this ear is lower, and so it just
never tell.
That's why I have to wear dangly earrings, because studs. Again, this goes to how much people are paying attention, but I can tell when someone's earlobe is off. But
no kidding.
I mean, I'm not normally trying to assess, but if they're wearing earrings, I can usually tell them, like, that one's lower than the other. So for me, dangly are a little bit more disguising, but studs, you could tell that's off.
Oh, interesting. How cool. Man, I love your attention to detail. I think that's cool. That especially probably helps in your field.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, hey, I noticed that this mark on your arm looks new. Tell me about it.
Yeah. That's cool.
And sometimes they're like, I'm like, hey, no judgment. We just need to assess safety. We need to,
Yeah.
But
Anyway, okay.
for me, summertime should be fine for me to keep the same schedule. I'm not dropping kids off at school, but so